Hello everyone, this one's a bit of a special request as someone's asked on one of the forums about what about the big three, the holy trinity, Swampert, Venusuar and Charizard. They're the community day starters. With their community day moves they're really quite tough. They do a lot of damage, they're quite potent. So the question was, do I have a team that can take them on? Well, fortunately yes. This is my primary team of this season and I'm just going to hop into some selected matchups featuring just those. So if that's not of interest to you, just skip this because it'll be boring. But with that in mind, we're just going to skip into the first match and we're leading into Charizard. So Gallade leads into Charizard. Charizard's a good lead for Gallade because they often don't shield the close combat. And close combat, even against Charizard, it's very hard. So this is a Dragon Claw because of the speed it came out. But it still does a lot of damage because Gallade's quite squishy. We're going to throw a close combat in return. They're anticipating maybe that they can shield these, but we can take a shield from them. So we switch immediately to clear the debuff and into the Snorlax. Snorlax is not going to shield here. See if they want to bait or throw a blast burn, doesn't really matter. It's a blast burn. As you can see, that hurts but it doesn't take us out, that's okay. Out comes the Swampert. Swampert we throw some body slams at and they'll farm us with a little bit of energy, but that's okay. We're just going to lick it down and get to our next body slam. They built up a big energy reserve here. I think they're going for the bold move of trying to farm a Snorlax. It's quite a dangerous play that I don't recommend it to anyone because that's what happens. They're going to throw their energy now because we're about to take them out, and there we go. Goodbye Snorlax, but we bring back in our Gallade. We shield the incoming Hydro Cannon. And we don't actually need to go for Leaf Blade here, we can just farm it down with Confusions. There we go, that's gone. What are they bringing out next? My opponent's looking like he's stalling the clock a little bit. Right, so Charizard comes, so we switch immediately to Empoleon, and as you can see, that just takes Charizard out in 3 waterfalls. And in the back, they've got a Flygon, which is also not going to do well against Empoleon. I don't think it actually matters too much what they had in the back. Venusaur might be mildly inconvenient, but you do still have the shield advantage. Well, they've got the shield advantage, and you've got Peck though, so even with the Venusaur, you've got a chance because you've got the Confusion to throw at them. You don't actually see the 3 in close succession very often though, because they're quite sensitive to alignment. And there we go, the Gallade's got a move loaded, so we can throw the Leaf Blade. Obviously close combat still does a lot of damage if you get to it. Good game. So we're going to move into our next match, which is going to be leading into a Swampert. So you go Gallade against Swampert, it's actually quite a tight match because obviously your Leaf Blades will put them down in one hit, but their Hydro Cannons do hurt quite a lot and they come very quickly. So the trick here is to let the first one land and build up to a double Leaf Blade. Throw them back to back when you get there. Obviously you've got to shield this one because it will put you down, but that way you've now gone into a shield deficit, but now you've got 2 Leaf Blades loaded. Now my opponent switched quite nicely here to a Charizard, so I'm just going to throw the Leaf Blade and probably bail out myself. Or maybe just go for close combat actually, so maybe they're anticipating the Leaf Blade going through here. Got a shield off them already, so if they shield this, they go into shield deficit, and there you go. Even resisted, that takes off a huge amount of damage. I'll quickly switch to the Empoleon and finish them off before they can get to a charge move. Out comes the Swampert again. Swampert is a threat to us because it does ground damage, but increasingly they don't have Earthquake. Some do, but quite a few run Sludge Wave for the coverage. But as you can see, the waterfall is quite chunking there and taking it down quite quickly. We are shielding the possible Earthquake. It's another Hydro Cannon, but that's okay. We're building up an energy lead, so that's also fine for us. And out comes the Venusaur. So this is in fact a Holy Trinity team, and we throw the Drill Pecks here. There we go, big chunk off the Venusaur. Gonna go for that again, but they're probably going to Frenzy Plant us. There we go. Frenzy Plant is neutral because the Steel and the Walls are cancelling out, but it still does a lot of damage and takes us out. However, a couple of Confusions, and look at that go. Haven't quite finished it, but I don't think they were to finish the Snorlax. Even if they had a move loaded, I don't think that would have been enough. Goodbye to the Holy Trinity. Next up, Gallade into Swampert again. This is probably an order of leads actually. So there we go. Again, we're building up to the double Leaf Blades. We're stuttering a bit on the lag. So again, we're going to shield one. You can do this in any order. Basically, you need to shield 2, let 1 land, and then you'll get to your 3rd Leaf Blade before they get to their 4th Hydro Cannon. So we're shielding both. We're on a shield deficit. We're building up our energy lead and throwing the Leaf Blades. So the back-to-backs here, we should be able to take them out if they let any of them land. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So next one. And you notice they haven't snuck any mud shots through on us, so we will get to that Okay, so we decided not to go into shield deficit, but we've still got an energy lead, and it's a Gardevoir coming out next. So we switch quickly into a Snorlax, because the lick damage to Gardevoir will do it quite a lot of damage, and in comes the Venusaur. So body slams will come through and do it quite a lot. There we go. Bang. Got the shield off them, we'll throw the next body slam. And as you can see, it's going to do quite a bit. I mean, it's a bit, obviously with shadow bonus you're doing a little bit more damage than the standard. It looks like they've been farming us for some energy to get a probably double frenzy plant ready. That's unfortunate, but does, because it means that when we bring in our Gallade now, we catch a frenzy plant immediately and we don't get the move off. But that's okay, it means they use up their energy and we switch back into Empoleon. So again, they're probably quite close to a frenzy plant, and there they are, yes. So this is going to take off a lot of our health, but it's neutral to us because we've got the steel on our side, and Gardevoir comes in. And unfortunately they had a move loaded, so they do in fact finish us off here. So it doesn't always go our way, but for the sake of completeness I thought I'd demonstrate. I think if we got to the move, we'd have put that down. I don't think we'd have finished off the Venusaur quite though. Venusaur lead. Again, we start confusioning, they switch because they always do, and Ferocious are surprisingly problematic for this team because it's got play against most of them. Gallade because it's squishy, Snorlax because of Focus Blast, and Empoleon because of course it's electric. So we do try and get it aligned with Gallade anyway, so this is good for us. It does mean we are giving up our Venusaur counter though, so we've got to be quite cautious with this and shield somewhat aggressively, and we're just going to obviously throw the Thunder Punches at us, build up some energy to a double Leaf Blade, and throw the Leaf Blades right away. Obviously it's a bit overkill at this point, there's a good chance they'll let it go down, we'll get a shield. So we switch immediately with some energy loaded. That way, hopefully, the Ampharos is still too low on energy to get to Focus Blast in time to throw at the Snorlax. And sure enough, Thunder Punch, mildly inconvenient but not a disaster. Focus Blast comes very near to one-shotting us. Venusaur comes back out again, that's great because they're presumably scared of the Gallade in the back, which means it keeps them away from the Empoleon. So we have at least a pretty good chance of whatever's in the back being something we can take out. Frenzy Plant's probably going to finish us at this point, because Frenzy Plant does still hit very hard. There we go, goodbye. But again, we get Gallade out, and we go straight onto it. And this time, we can go to a close combat. I don't think we're going to be able to finish them with the confusions fast enough, so we just need to help them along a little bit with the confusion. And we switch. No, we don't switch, we just get to the Leaf Blade quickly on the Swampert, because, well, this is just one Leaf Blade, just a little thing, but goodbye Swampert. So they didn't actually get to our backline at all, so that's two of the Holy Trinity wiped out. There we go. So next up, we're going to lead into another Venusaur. I did say this would be a bit boring, because obviously we are focusing on those three. Now, this is definitely a Sludge Bomb. No, it's probably Frenzy Plant actually, sorry, that's a Frenzy Plant, and there we go. But we're just not going to bother actually throwing a move at all, because the confusion damage does such a lot that if we want to stay in, we're just going to take that free energy from them. And comes the Charizard, we've got 2 close combats loaded, so we can throw 1 and switch, or we can throw 2 and just take both shields. In this case I prefer to hold it, because it means we can be fairly sure of landing it later, and it does mean we've now got a Leaf Blade reserved for this little Swampert here. So we're just going to nibble away at those shields with the body slams. Mid-game, Snorlax is very good at exerting some shield pressure. So there we go, in comes Hydro Cannon, doesn't take us out, next one will, but I think we'll get to a body slam first, and not quite. We're going to let Sace take it down anyway, because that means they've thrown all their energy. And we can bring in Gallade and throw a Leaf Blade immediately. Again, we'll get that last shield off them, or take them out. Goodbye. So they've got Charizard in the back. They're going to throw their energy at us, which is going to let them at this point, because what we've got to face it is, well, actually we're just going to go for a Leaf Blade and might as well use up a bit of chip damage and chip energy, and then switch afterwards. Or let them take us out, it doesn't really matter, because we've still got a shield and we've got an Empoleon, and it doesn't really matter what they throw at this point. A Blast Burn would hurt, but we are neutral to it thanks to the water and steel cancelling out their fire resistance, and there we go, they concede. Because there's not much I can do at that point. The waterfall will just tear them apart. So, next up, Gallade leading to Charizard. So, as I said, the core of this one is we do hit neutral with confusion, and we've pretty much got to shield whatever they throw, but there's quite a good chance of landing a close combat. So that's more or less the play here. You build up the energy, you throw the close combat, you quickly switch and hope they don't manage to nuke you. There we go, we've got the shield off them, switch to the Snorlax, start licking. If we get to a body slam, this is likely a blast burn, we're not going to shield though. Blast burn doesn't take us out, so there's no point shielding it, and it could be a bait, so we'd waste a shield. And obviously the rest of my team can make better use of the shield than the Snorlax can. So in comes the Swampert, and we're just going to nibble away at that and try to get to another body slam. And there we go. That's taken Swampert nice and low, to the point where I think even one confusion will take it out. So what we'll probably do is bring back in the Gallade and just finish the job. Or actually, maybe start farming with the... Okay, bring in the Gallade. The Gallade's probably the better choice simply because the Charizard is seriously threatened by the Empoleon, and catching a double Hydro Cannon on it would be mildly inconvenient. However, Gallade's now got some loaded energy, they've got a shield lead, but that's okay because we've got an energy lead. We're going to go straight into Empoleon and just flatten Charizard. Goodbye. And in the back they've got Flygon. So there we go. I think I've seen something similar to this before actually. And I think this will be taking it out. Yes, there we go. And then goes the Flygon. So, bonus match at the end there, because I think I ran the first one twice. Mea culpa, so it goes. But hopefully that's given a bit of an illustration. This is how you can tackle those annoying triple starter teams. Admittedly, I've got a starter of my own, but that's the way it goes. Empoleon is pretty good as it goes at countering all three, as is Gallade, and Snorlax in the middle has got some quite robust utility as a mid-gamer. I hope that was entertaining. Thank you, goodbye.